So one of the things that I do every morning to start my day, it's part of my morning routine. Like you have a routine, and hopefully you have a healthy routine. So after I wake up and get my coffee and get situated, I'd like to spend time each morning reading the Bible. It's just part of what I've been doing for the last 28 years. And so as I blog, I want to let you into all areas of my life. I'm not here to preach at you, but to share with you the things I'm learning. So as I'm reading this morning, I just thought that I would share that in the blog today. So I'm in a daily reading plan. I'm reading through the Bible in a year this year, and we're on Matthew 20 today, and it's January 30th, 2024. And yesterday we read the first part of Matthew, and it's a famous parable about Jesus that Jesus tells about a person who had a vineyard. And he hired people in the beginning of the day for one day's wages, called the denarius. And then later in the day, in the morning, he went and hired some more people. And he just said, I'll give you what's fair at the end of the day. And then at noon, he hired more people. And at 3 o'clock, and then at the end of the day, he hired more people to go into the vineyard. And at the end of the day, he started with those that were last hired. And he gave them a denarius, one day's wages. So you can imagine the people that were first hired, were like, man, we're going to get a lot more money than we bargained for. And they got the same thing. And they were upset and they were grumbling with the landowner. And the lesson Jesus, which is hard for us today, teaches this. And he said to them, friend, and he's talking to the people that have been working all day, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what is yours and go. But I wish to give to the last man the same as you. Is it not lawful for me to do with what I wish with what is my own? Or is your eye envious because I am generous? So the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Then the next part of the chapter, Jesus deals with the same theme. And I think it's because we just always want to push our way first. It's a me first mentality because it's our nature. We're selfish. And I don't think it's an American culture thing or some other culture. It's a human condition. And so I just want to read on in Matthew 20, verse 17. So stay with me till the end because I think it's going to really make an impact for your day today. It says, as in verse 17, as Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples aside by themselves, and on the way he said to them, behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death, and they will hand them over to the Gentiles to mock and to scourge and to crucify him, and on the third day he'll be raised up. Pretty important side note, Jesus is foretelling the future, as in prophesying what's going to happen to himself. Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee, that's James and John, came to Jesus with her sons, and bowing down and making request of him. And he said to her, what do you wish? And she said to him, command that in your kingdom these two sons of mine may sit on the right and on your left. But Jesus answered, you do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup I'm about to drink? Now finally the sons speak up. And they said to him, we are able. He said to them, my cup you shall drink. But to sit on my right and on my left, this is not mine to give, but it is for those who have been prepared by my Father. After hearing this, the other disciples, became indignant with the two brothers. Now, can you imagine? The 12 disciples of Jesus, two of the brothers, their mommy comes to Jesus, and these are, as we can tell, maybe young men, but grown men, Jesus' disciples, and the mom's like, hey, can you give preference, to my two sons to sit on your right and on your left? Sort of like in a kingdom, your two vice presidents, so to speak, banking terms there. And then the other 10 heard it. Can you imagine how angry they must have gotten and how jealous? But Jesus called all of them to himself, and he said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. It is not this way among you, but whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you shall be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. So Jesus is really attacking these situations of the human condition about us pressing to be first. So here's the challenge for me today, and maybe you might want to take up this challenge. As I read through this, I thought, I'm like these guys. I want to be first. And maybe today I can be last. and let someone else go first. That's the lesson today. Let someone else go first. Maybe you'll be in a meeting at work and someone is putting forth their ideas, and you're just chomping at the bit to get yours out there. Maybe let them have their word today. Let them go first. Maybe be last. Maybe you have to queue up in a line for something and you're rushing, and when you get ahead of people in line, turn around and look behind you. See who you beat in that line. Maybe the elderly, maybe the disabled, maybe someone who's downtrodden. For what? Maybe let someone else go first today. Maybe you don't need to win that argument today in your own mind. You wouldn't be winning. You'd be winning in your own mind, but maybe you're not really winning anyways. But just recognize, let someone else go first today. It's really hard. That's the challenge. And so when you do, you will be, in a small sense, like Jesus when he says, the Son of Man, Jesus, God himself, did not come to be served, not to be waited on, but to serve. And so we are like Jesus when we let others go first. Can you imagine if everybody was scrambling to be last? Now, of course, it would be probably inauthentic, and people would try to have false humility, like, look, I'm last, I'm last. So when you do it quietly. You don't let anybody know, because your Father in heaven, who sees all things, will know. That's my challenge today. Maybe you'll join me in it. And thanks for listening. And we'll see you on the next video.